Bible to justify the Bible all the while, and come on to say, but we don't believe that they say, right, but in a Matthew that they say that. When they say, but we don't believe that they say, but in a Judges they say that, and we don't believe that they say in Exodus they say that. So what is the evidence? How can you tell me that Jesus Christ raised from the dead? And when I ask you what is the evidence, you throw me the Bible again. It's the same people who believe it, you show me about a couple of hours before this thing. And the little girl, who is a true believer in Jesus Christ, based upon her bringing up, says, look here, 17 years what Jesus Christ missing, life missing. That means we know from him born to 12. And after that we know when he was 30, and then him dead at about 33. We know that. But there's 17 years in between the 12 and that 33. I wonder if he was having promiscuous sex. Because listen to the reasoning, a teenager psychologically cannot decide her life in relationship to the virtues of Jesus Christ as a teenager, because she don't know what Jesus was doing as a teenager. And 12 and 3, to me, is 15. Therefore, the majority of Jesus' life is missing from the gospel. The majority of this man's life is missing from the gospel. Therefore, I am questioning the validity of any man that the Christians talk about named Jesus Christ historically. I am questioning it.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Today we're gonna be checking out this one of Mutabaruka's greatest religious speech, Christianity 20 Years of Illusion, my people. This one is well powerful, and we as African people, we need to tune into this thing, my people. Super educational. Once, before we get into it, drop a like and subscribe, share to a friend or a family so they can be part of the movement. Now, let's take a walk, check out what Muta have to say, then we share with thoughts and opinion down below. Yeah man, let's walk.
It's really the street teacher. It's university come from just gathering information based upon where I am, where I go, and who I see and who I talk to. But I want to carry you back to things that was said yesterday and things that was said at the lecture. Yesterday we didn't get no answer. One speaker speak already and we still don't get any answer. So we hope that two more speakers will clarify in the minds of Aishama and in the minds of thousands and millions of black people out there in Jamaica what was previously asked at the lecture and by Aishama. Aishama mentioned the things, the people in the Bible that we are supposed to emulate as icons, as people of moral precedents and these things. You know, there's a famous Psalms that is read by many people, including Rastas. But for some reason or another, that Psalm stopped at a certain position in the Psalm. But I want to read the last two verses of the Psalm that is not, those two verses never read, and that Psalm has been recorded. It has made millions for a group named Boney M. It goes by the name By the Rivers of Babylon. Psalms 137. Now everybody reads Psalm 137. As a matter of fact, I never even studied, but I can say it by heart, because even record make it even easier for me to say it. But based on what Aishama said, and I really am interested in this God that I was taught, because all of us get taught this God, and I am not fighting against God per se. I want the people them to understand it, because a lot of people get this perception that why muta, why the man they're not believing on this and not believing on that. Look here, is the doctrine that is trying to clarify the God that I have a problem with. I cannot have a problem with God because I don't know who or what is God. So I can't have a problem with God. I have a problem with people who is telling you how, why, what, and he and who he is. No. The Psalm says, the last two verses, and remember this is the Psalms By the Rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, where we wept when we remember Zion. The last two verses said, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. This is a psalm that has repeated itself for we don't know how much years. Happy shall he be that taketh. Now this is a thing against the daughters of Babylon. We are told that this was written by David. We are told. So these men who are ascribing this thing to David is saying no. Happy are the people who rise up against the daughters of Babylon and destroy them and take their young ones and dash them against the stones. There's nothing wrong with that in the Lord's sight, because this is the enemy of the Lord. Now, Aishama mentioned yesterday David. I mentioned that in the previous lecture. Can someone explain to me why David is such a man of God's own heart, and David commit some of the worst atrocities in the Bible? David is a mercenary. David is a man who see man wife, love the man wife, and take him best soldier and can't go kill him just to get him wife. David is the epitome of kings in the Bible, because Saul get mad and David dance, sing as a matter of fact, and David even strip himself naked and dance also as a musician. Now, why we mention this? We mention this because I personally, the reason for me saying Christianity 2000 years of illusion and the African mind is that if I am supposed to accept these individuals, as Aishama asks pertinently, if I am supposed to accept these people as these what they say they are, and Christians show me that the virtues of Christianity is so pure, without taint in Jesus, how is it that the history that they profess is not worthy of what they say that it will lead you to in its essence? Mr. Chisholm mentioned yesterday that I said that anywhere Christianity is, the societies are the most corrupt in the world. I said it, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Anywhere Christianity is practiced, and it is useless for Mr. Chisholm to say that the teachings of Christianity is different from the practice of Christians. No, I am understanding that. He even mentioned something that Igbo said, which I did not agree with Igbo, but that is the next reasoning. But he said that we must separate what I say and what I do. No, I don't have no problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. If you separate what is, I can say a whole heap of things, but I'm not doing it, especially when nobody not seen me. I can say it and then do something else. I agree with him. But are we saying then that Christianity is saying something, but cannot show me the evidence of that something being manifested nowhere in the world, in its totality, neither in history of 2,000 years of professing this essence on the paper of known as the Bible? How is it that this thing is so practical and real, yet still for 2,000 years there's no society, there's no individual person that has impacted on the society to allow the society to partake in this glory that is supposed to be in the Gospels? That is one of the questions we say. So I am looking at the whole thing realistically, and I am saying, okay, we have Muslim societies and we have Christian societies, and as I said before, I am not a what you call scholar of anything, but I'm looking at newspaper and television, and I'm getting news from Islamic countries, and I'm getting news from China, and I'm getting news from America and England, and I am saying to you, Jamaica is one of the wickedest countries in the world. No, Jamaica is supposed to be a Christian country. America is the most decadent society in the world. America is based upon Christian principles in the Constitution of America. That is why they pull up the Bible and say swear to Almighty God, which Mr. Chisholm make reference to yesterday. No, a man can't swear in the Bible and say anything. But it is the thinking and the mentality that we are talking about. It's not the action. Because there is certain good actions that can lead you to bad thinking. There's certain good thinking that can lead you to bad actions. And I am knowing that if you set a foundation for something that is not accessible to man and is anthropological consciousness, you will always have it as a theory that can be talked about, mentioned for another 2,000 years, but no one will ever have a society that you can say, this is a modern society. When we talk about Jesus Christ and the ways, the life-like of Jesus Christ, this is the society that we are talking about. Now follow this society. It's like, for instance, you will have something here and you say, a man start a project in Jamaica, and you're telling us, well, right now, you know, say, You go down at the ghetto and you tell some youth, say, boy, why not start a youth club and do certain things and set up certain program and things? And say, boy, I don't really have the... And you say, no, but I'm going to show you somewhere, mustard seed or somewhere, where I have a model project going on. And you can't see it. You can't see it at work. No, what is the purpose of I going into the ghetto and telling the youth all these glorious things, and I don't have no evidence of nothing that I am saying, more than say, boy, I have sit down in my bedroom and construct. I am not saying that you can't construct things, you know, because the Bible is a construction. I am saying to you now, if the Christians is upholding this doctrine to the form of even creating wars in the world, show me a model society, a Christian model society, that I can say, stop the war. This is a society that has perpetuated this Christian doctrine for 2,000 years. Therefore, when it's going to know it can work. Are we to live in the illusion that this thing is going to attain in your mind? That my grandmother and my great-great-grandmother is going to have this thing in our mind, and then they tell you that no one knows the hour of the Lord, because you will never know, because the generation that is here now will die saying it, and the next generation will come and die saying the same thing, and the next generation and the next generation will die and say the same thing. Where is the evidence of your theory? Because when a scientist goes into a laboratory, he goes with an assumption. The brethren said that a while ago, Mr. Hall. Mr. Brethren said, you start with an assumption. You go into the laboratory, you start with an assumption. But there are certain things that you are doing scientifically to show that this assumption is either wrong or right. That means that you are taking the assumption from paper. You start on the paper, you're taking the assumption and putting it in the laboratory, and you're going to say, you know, let me test the litmus test and see if this thing is so or not so. You might come out negative, you might come out positive. Then you can come out with a conclusion. You come out with a conclusion and say, look here, well, you know, all the while I said this, but it's when I go to the laboratory, I'm going to take the test, I realize that, well, it's not going to work, you know. I realize that, why it work, you know. I don't know no society that professed Christianity for 2,000 years did that. And all the societies that has done it, all the societies that has tried to do it in Europe, all the societies come out oppressing the people. All the societies oppress the people. So I am in contention with Mr. Hall. When Mr. Hall said Christianity is based off of some spiritual recognition of something. Christianity is based off of the control and the means by which you use and manipulate people in their negativity and their irrational thinking. Christianity is based off of people knowing the truth and not partaking the truth to people who they think are sheep to the people. That is what Christianity is. I don't care what they say. That is what now we come to know. What do they say? I am listening to what they say in the Bible. I read the Torah. I have seen the Bhagavad Gita. I have seen Buddhist speech, and I don't see no difference between what the virtues of Christianity is in relationship to these virtues that is professed by other nations and religions and culture. So for one set of people to come and tell you that they have the red phone like Batman and the commissioner to God, it's creating an illusion in the mind of the people who is trying to realize themselves. So if Aisha come here and says, look here, all the while I hearing this thing, and when I sit down with my little friend them, I hear them explain this thing. She never tell you this, but I was talking with her and one of our friends just a couple of hours before this thing, and the little girl who is a true believer in Jesus Christ, based upon our bringing up, says, look here, 17 years what Jesus Christ missing, life missing. That means we know from him born to 12, and after that we know when he was 30, and then him dead at about 33. We know that. But there's 17 years in between the 12 and that 33. I wonder if he was having promiscuous sex. Because listen to the reasoning, a teenager psychologically cannot decide her life in relationship to the virtues of Jesus Christ as a teenager, because she don't know what Jesus was doing as a teenager. And 12 and 3 to me is 15. Therefore the majority of Jesus' life is missing from the gospel. The majority of this man's life is missing from the gospel. Therefore, I am questioning the validity of any man that the Christians talk about named Jesus Christ historically. I am questioning it. I am questioning it. I am questioning it because there is no historical evidence. And I'm going to say it again because I said it at the lecture. The Bible, the New Testament as the Christians call it, tells you the story of this man named Jesus Christ. In Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 4 books out of 27 books. And millions of people for 2,000 years accept this thing. I remember one time I was reasoning with Mr. Chisholm on a talk show. And I told him that I don't believe in a man the name Jesus Christ. Him say, well, it's a semantics if I say Yahshua. I say, when I talk to the Jews and I talk to Hebrews, they tell me of a man who was living named Yahshua. I don't know, they tell me that. Right? So I am saying to them now, alright? So who is this Jesus? Mr. Chisholm, if he can remember, says to me that I am dealing with semantics. The translation of Jesus is Yahshua, is lie. It's lie. It's lie. Aisha, I just tell you the translation of Yahshua. Joshua. Because there was no J. The J is the last letter to be placed in the alphabet. So the question arises. What was the name of this man who the Christians claim is historical before the J was in the alphabet? No. I am putting it to you that his name was not Yahshua. Because the name Jesus in English is translated with an I or a Z as Zeus or Iosus. Iosus is long before any Jesus Christ come on the earth according to Christian doctrine. Because Iosus, which is what you're doing, what they did is play with the letters Z and I. Because Z is really I in the Greek, and I know that Mr. Chisholm studied Greek, and Mr. Chisholm will tell you that when there was no J, there was an I, and the I interspersed with the Z. So Jesus is the Roman way of saying Zeus. Zeus is a Greek god. Christ is the English form of saying Christos, which is a Greek word which translated in the Hebrew Amashek, anointed one. Anointed one is not necessarily Jesus Christ, but the Christians declare that this is the Christ. There is no concept in the Hebrew culture that there is a the Christ. It is the Christian perception of a Greek mythology that perpetuated itself on a so-called historical man by the name of Jesus Christ. So, when I said that the decadence, when I say that the decadent societies can be seen as Christian societies, what I'm saying is really that check what they say. Because people say, if you know this a Christian, you know, and they have mentioned that, and I find Mr. Chisholm adhered to the thing that went into St. Lucia and what women they say. And I find that with Rasta too, because Rasta find themselves on the same Judeo-Christian thinking, so them take on to themselves the flag of Judeo-Christianity too. If a man do something outside of it, themselves is not a Rasta. If a man take coke himself, is not a Rasta. If a man do something by himself, is not a Christian. So who is a Christian? Because you don't know no man that don't do nothing that is not wrong. And if there is no man on earth that has not done anything that is not wrong, what is the doctrine that is brought to us? What is the doctrine? The doctrine is a theoretical doctrine that is an illusion. It is an illusion because they are telling you that God is there and you are here. And sometimes they intersperse it and say God is in me because he lives within my heart. But yet he walks with me and he talks with me along the narrow way. I am saying to the society that is breeding this thinking that if you keep on breeding these far-fetched ideas for people, they will keep grabbing it, and when they can't grab it, they're going to get frustrated and turn back and get vexed and do something that is unordinary, that is against what the Bible says. So man, I said Christopher Columbus come here. And Christopher Columbus come in the name of Christianity. And Christopher Columbus wipe out the Arab. But people say, well, Christopher Columbus is not a true Christian. The Pope them come, them do all manner of, vile things. I was reading about the other day, the sex life of the popes. And if you read that book, you say, my God, man. You know, and a man says, but them they wasn't Christian. The other day, we say, a virgin come to me, I talk to a woman the other day, and I say, but look on where this man is. She say, yeah, but the man, they're not Christian. Then who is a Christian? I am saying a Christian is a one who accepts Jesus Christ as his personal savior. And if he's saying that to me, I have no reason to say that he's not a Christian. So if he does something that is not Christian-like, I am saying, but if he's still a Christian, it's not that he do something outside of Christianity that is not conducive to the thinking, not the action. Because a Christian can do anything. A Christian can do anything, but him say something different. And him say, no, don't watch what I do. Listen to what I say, because the Bible is the true essence of what I am dealing with. So when him do something wrong, him tell you the right and tell you about it in the Bible. And in the Bible, you must do right. But when you read the Bible and say, then if him read the Bible and not do right, why if he's going to read the Bible and do right? There's a contradiction in the whole thing. That is why the decadence is there. Because in a society like an Islam society, them say, thou shalt not commit adultery, anybody commit adultery, they will kill you. So everybody does what? So, and I'm saying that adultery don't exist in these societies because it exists because them kill a man's feet. I am just saying that the chances of these moral principles being denigrated to just words is more in the Christian society. Because when I grew up in a Christian society, I live in a Christian society all of my life. And most of the places I have traveled are Christian societies. America is the most decadent society in the world, and every time you go into them places, them hold up a Bible. Them say the Constitution is based upon the principle of the Bible. So what I must say, if I am looking at the practicality of the thing, and I am saying, but Christians, why you keep saying these things to the people them? And when I look at the world as you don't have it, because it's most of the Christians control the world. Most of these atomic, when the Pope was going to attack Ethiopia, and I have seen it on video, he was blessing the bombs and blessing the men them who was going to pray poison gas over the whole of the Ethiopian people. But the Christians say, that man, they're not Christian. The oppression of Jamaican people by political leaders. The political leaders give credence to Christian principles. The guy who have him gun, who is shooting people, him give credence to Christian principles. Him cannot live it out because it is an illusion. Man is an entity on earth. Man has to survive in some way or another. We must lay down practical laws for man to live by and not no sky gazing concept. Because if 2,000 years of sky gazing concept has not gotten us anywhere, isn't it just real? It's just real to say, make we take another look on the situation. Make we just take another look. It's not that we say we're going to go, well, we not deal with that, you know. No, we can't say that, Rasta. Me, an intelligent person, we can't say that. We just say, look, you know, there's a lot of things that has been said. When they say, him believe that a woman ribs is a ribs of a man make woman. Him believe that, and you can't tell him nothing else. Him not going to come after that until him dead. But what happened to the youth like Aisha now? Who are questioning it now? What you going to show? You going to show the next Bible story? You going to take the Bible to justify the Bible all the while and come until they say, but we don't believe that they say, right, but in a Matthew that they say that. But say, but we don't believe that they say, but in a Judges they say that. And we don't believe that they say in Exodus they say that. So what is the evidence? How can you tell me that Jesus Christ raised from the dead? And when I ask you what is the evidence, you throw me the Bible again. It's the same people them who believe it you show me about. We need to understand what it is all about. Give thanks.
Well, this was one of the most powerful reasoning, my people, as I said earlier on. So many years of African people stuck in this illusion. We can't find a way out. We need to wake up. We need to wake up, my people. You can't just look to the Bible for everything. We need to can think for yourself as well. Because some of the things in the Bible are total madness. The Bible is like a guideline. You have to pick sense out of nonsense. There's a lot of things in the Bible that we can abide by and live a comfortable life and a life, you know, that is worthy living. And there's so many things that will just blow you away with Greek mythology. Full of Greek mythology, my people. Wake up to the reality, because there's so many things trap our mind as African people, especially this Christian thing, this Christian doctrine, mashing up our mind. But let me know what you think down in the comment section about this. And before you go, you know it's a Black Power. Drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. I catch you in the next one. Irie.